Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2026 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have from us, it's a 12 card spread with each card representing a different house of the zodiac. Starting with your sign, Libra is the first house, all the way through to Virgo representing the 12th house. After that, we'll actually pull an oracle card as well for some additional insight. As far as the decks being used this month, for the main tarot deck, we have the Hermetic tarot, and for the oracle deck, we'll be using the Wisdom Oracle. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Gemini. So for you guys, Gemini is actually your 9th house of philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs. Astrologically speaking, we have Uranus there, of course. Let me see what else. We have Mars still there until the 11th of August. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but no, actually, I think that's it for now. So yeah, so those are pretty impactful energies there. So that could be impacting that area of life for you guys. Well, speaking of Mars, right, I just mentioned how Mars is still in Gemini until the 11th of August, which at that point it'll be moving into your 10th house of career and social status. So let's keep that there. And well, and speaking of 10,000 career and social status, there you go, right? So pretty impactful houses for you guys this month, apparently, but we'll keep that in mind as we go through the main spread. For your first house, pointing to personality, self-awareness, and appearance, we have the moon. So as you can see, there is Pisces symbolism here, which is interesting because toward the end of August, there's actually going to be a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. But more so than that, I feel like what this is saying is that you might be feeling a little bit out of sorts this month, and some of that could be some of the things that will be passing through your 12th house. So, currently we have Venus in your 12th house, and it'll be moving into your sign. So Venus is your ruler as well, but it'll be moving into your sign on the 6th of August. But for the time being, it's in your 12th house. And then toward the end of August, around the 24th, 25th, we're actually going to have Mercury move into your 12th house as well. So those are energies that could have you feeling a little bit out of sorts. You guys had the South Node moving through there for quite some time too. So I feel like this is just saying that, you might be feeling a little bit unsure of yourselves at times this month. All right. And for your second house energy, pointing to possessions, self-worth, and finances, we have the King of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy, which actually is your natural second house ruler. So to me, this is a good sign that financially things could be going well for you guys this month. I feel like this is also saying that you might have a deep emotional tie to financial decisions that you make this month. I don't know if that's how you always operate, but it seems like that's going to be at the forefront for you guys this month anyway. For your third house of communication, short journeys, and siblings, we have the Eight of Cups. So we see more Pisces energy here. And this deck refers to the card as Lord of Abandoned Success. So yeah, so for some of you, this could just be saying that you might have some conversations with people that might make you come to the realization that there's something that you need to leave behind. Now, for you guys, Pisces is a 6th house energy, so maybe that could be related to your work lives, maybe even daily routine that you might have, some kind of health regimen. But yeah, it could just be saying that maybe there's something a path you've been on for a while, and as you have conversations with people this month, you might come to the realization that that path might no longer suit you. All right, so for your 4th house energy, which points to home roots and family, we have the King of Wands. So this is actually Leo energy here, and to see this in your 4th house is a little interesting. Your 4th house is pretty quiet right now, that's Capricorn, but to see this come up here could just be saying that you might be feeling a bit charged within your home environment, right? Maybe you'll feel a desire to get things done around your home environment. Maybe there's actually going to be, when you're connecting with family, right, or those who feel like family, they might actually reinvigorate you to where you want to get out and take action this month. Maybe a mixture of those things. For your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children, we have Temperance. So this is the major arcana card for Sagittarius, but for you guys, 5th house energy is actually Aquarius, and currently there's some significant energies there. We have Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, and Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio. So interesting to see that symbolism there. And then we also have the North Node that just moved into Aquarius as well. So definitely some heavy hitting energies moving into your fifth house. And to see this energy here points to balance, right? So I feel like this is saying you're actually going to be able to use those energies to your advantage, and it's going to play out in a positive way for you guys. All right. For your sixth house, which points to health, work, and daily routines, we have the King of Swords. So yeah, so seeing this here, I feel like this could just be connecting to what we were talking about, right? Where you might have conversations with people, like I mentioned, given that Pisces is sixth house energy for you guys, and then to see this Aquarian energy in your sixth house, I feel a connection there, right? Where, like I said, there might be conversations that you might have with people that might empower you this month to decide that maybe you need to leave some things behind, or maybe even speak up on things that you feel aren't necessarily working fairly right now, to see if they could achieve that fairness within that environment, right? Before leaving it behind. But either way, like this is saying, there's a connection between these two energies. And when it comes to your work, your health, your daily routines, you're going to be more empowered this month. All right, so for your seventh house of partnerships, contracts, and relationships, we have the Five of Pentacles. So this deck refers to this as the Lord of Material Trouble, which, yeah, I mean, it's almost universal as far as most decks with the Five of Pentacles. This does point to a bit of a bumpy ride. And given that Taurus is a financial house, people tend to think of finances first. I do have to say that for you guys, technically it checks out as a financial house too, because it's eighth house, and eighth house can be tied to finances as well. But yeah, so for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you come to a realization that a partnership you entered into might not be working out quite the way you'd hoped, right? So maybe there's going to have to be a need to have some discussions around that. So like I said, for some of you, could just be leaving things behind. But for others of you, I feel like you're going to at least make an effort to talk things through first, right? To see if fairness could be achieved within that connection before leaving it behind. But more than anything, I feel like the common denominator is a realization that things just aren't working the way they currently are. All right, so for your eighth house energy, which points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments, we have the Two of Pentacles, which in this deck is referred to as the Lord of Harmonious Change. So, interesting energy to see here, because a lot of decks referred to, you could just see from the artwork that it points to a bit of indecisiveness, right? And feeling like you're stuck in a loop. Here, it seems to be pointing to more empowerment around a loop of things, right? So, more than anything, what I'm getting with this could just be saying that you do have some good opportunities at play for you guys. But again, like I said, with the moon in the first house, you might have a little difficulty of seeing which way to go, right? Which options to choose, right? Can you take on both things, or do you have to leave one behind? So there could be some restructuring as far as that goes. But seeing this here, I feel like this is saying that you are going to take a measured approach before making a final decision. All right, so for your ninth house energy, which we saw come up with the dice as well, we have the Six of Wands. So this deck is referred to as the Lord of Victory. It's basically a Leo energy, and not only that, we also see the Jupiter symbolism here, right? So fitting, because Jupiter is currently in Leo. So to see this in the ninth house for you guys, which your general ninth house is Gemini. Seeing this here, I feel like this is saying that when it comes to your beliefs, maybe even if you are trying to get some advanced certifications or degrees, things along those lines there, I feel like this is saying that you're going to have a lot of success around that. But also maybe just around expressing what's important to you as well. I feel like this is going to say that you'll be well received this month. All right, so for your career, we saw the energy from the dice pointing to this as well. But for your career and social status, we have the Seven of Swords. So for you guys, your 10th house is Cancer. And currently, I mean, we still have Mercury there. We did have the Mercury retrograde recently. It's still technically in post shadow for a bit. But it'll be in there until the 9th. and then Mars will be moving in there on the 11th. So there will be some intense energies just pulsing through that house for you guys. So when it comes to your career, just be on the lookout for that, right? So maybe again, keep in mind that maybe communication won't be as clear as you'd like currently. Maybe at least not until mid-August, right? And then if you wait until that time too, then the Mars energy could be leveraged a little bit more productively, I feel. So just be on the lookout for that. And then if this involves, I mean, if we look at the name of the card here, right, it says Lord of Unstable Effort. So if this is you just being more hard on yourselves, right, because you're like, man, I feel like I can't get it together here. Again, look at that same statement I made before, but through a different lens, right? Understand that, hey, you did have Mercury retrograde there not too long ago. A lot of people were saying it was pretty harsh on them, so might be the case for you guys too, right? So once that dust settles, you get closer to mid-August, then you have that Mars energy in there. Again, might be a bit of a bumpy ride initially, but I feel like you'll be able to gain momentum at that point. All right, so for your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes, we have the Nine of Wands, referred to as the Lord of Great Strength. So I actually really love that title for this card in this deck because oftentimes when I would use the traditional tarot decks and we see someone who looks like they've gone through a rough time, right? And what I would usually point out to people, so like if you say with the Rider deck, right, if you look at the artwork, there's a guy holding on to one wand that looks like they have their head bandaged, right? And you could tell they feel like they're a little bit, just waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? They're on guard, they're waiting for the next conflict, not looking forward to it, but fully feeling like it's coming their way, right? And what I would often point out to people is then you see the eight wands behind them, which to me points to their experience, right? So it's like they might feel like they just have that one wand that they're holding on to tightly, but it's more of pointing to there's a lot of experiences that you've gone through. Yeah, they might have been difficult, but they're actually going to be your strength in this moment. So when it comes to your friends, the people you deal with, the groups you've dealt with, I feel like those experiences have actually helped build you up to a point where you can handle things, even if there are some difficult things at play this month, in a more productive manner than you might think. All right, and for your 12th house energy, which in general points to blind spots, mental health, spirituality, we have the foolish man. Basically, the fool, the spirit of ether. So, yeah. Looking at this here, I feel like this is saying there is something beneath the surface for you guys, right? Where you might want to change things up. You might want to take action. You might feel something bubbling beneath the surface that says you want to get out in a different way. And that could be what that moon energy is about, right? Where you feel it beneath the surface, but even you're not quite sure what it means just yet. So if that's the case, like I said, give yourselves a little grace. And I feel like when we get a little bit further along in the month, you'll start to have that vision more clearly. Could even just be saying that, let's say, when we have that new moon eclipse in Leo on the 12th of August, that might be a good time where you start to see things shift in a more positive sense. Or at least you have more clarity, if nothing else. All right, and speaking of Leo, at the bottom of the deck, if I could grab it, we have Fortitude. So this is called the Strength card in a lot of decks, but same energy. It's the major arcana card for Leo. So to see this beneath the deck kind of goes back to what I was saying when we were talking about, experiences you might have gone through, even if they were difficult. I feel like they could be your strength at this time, and I feel like this is saying that just have a little bit of faith in yourselves as far as being able to take on any challenges that might come your way. All right, but lastly, we'll pull an oracle card and wrap up with that. So I'm just going to give this a few shuffles, then we'll cut the deck and pull a card. All right, so let's see what you got. All right, we have Thinker. There's the artwork, and the number is 44. So, see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings says strategy, being analytical and logical. The oracle's message, the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. So definitely a strong message there for those of you who are in that moon energy that we talked about, right? Where maybe you're second guessing yourselves in some ways. And like I said, even if that's the case, I feel like once we get closer to mid-month, that'll probably start to naturally fade anyway. The relationship message says, love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it is good to have things in common other than desire. This is a time to weigh the pros and cons of your partnership. There is enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fish in the sea. Don't force it to work. And should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy. No matter what, in this case, the facts are the facts. So yeah, definitely a strong message there as well, right? If you are going through some relationship difficulties, which certainly would be the case with the Five of Pentacles. So if that is the case for you, hopefully that resonated. And lastly, the prosperity message says calculated action is called for now. It's important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. List all your friends now, so get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategic partner is spirit. You will win this game, and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. So yeah, again, another pretty strong message there too. Makes me think of the fortitude/strength card that we see at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, hopefully that resonated with you guys, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.